Christian Ballard, sports journalist with Ballard Sports Media on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share this out, all that good stuff helps the channel out, and we definitely want to keep growing. We're on our road to 2,000 subscribers. Love and appreciate all the love and support I've gotten over the past few years. Now to the subject at hand. The reality of Sheduer Sanders falling in the 2025 NFL draft. And I'm going to try to be careful with this one. Um, I'm not gonna like cuss or chew him out or be critical of Shedeur Sanders or anything. That I'm kind of going based off an article or two, but also I'm going off my own personal opinions of the situation. And so the one thing I saw that was actually put out this morning from Athlon Sports, Evan Massey, uh, here on April 27th, this morning, around, I don't know, 7 a.m. Eastern time. And this was interesting. I'm going to screen share this one. We're going to read it together. I saw the headline. I said, oh, this is interesting. Let's read it. So I'm kind of reading this too, along with you guys, and kind of reacting to this article here I get it from MSN.com. It's like my default. The Cleveland Browns drafted quarterback Dylan Gabriel in the third round of the 2025 NFL Draft. That move was a clear sign about how little they valued Shedeur Sanders. While that move was shocking enough, things took another twist. In the fifth round, with Sanders still available, the Browns traded up in order to draft him. Leaving the 2025 draft with two quarterbacks was a very surprising decision from Cleveland. Following the draft, general manager Andrew Berry spoke out about drafting two quarterbacks. He admitted that it wasn't the plan, hinting that ownership may have come in and forced the Sanders move. It wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to draft two QBs, he said. Um, so that's what Andrew Berry had to say. Now, pause. It wasn't the plan. I'm just going to say this outright. And by the way, we're premiering this, we're showing it. If you have your thoughts, please put it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. I want your feedback on this. He says it wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to draft two quarterbacks. And also, we saw from the article headline that the Browns felt they were forced to do so. They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the third round, a pick that they should have drafted a quarterback, but they could have easily got Sanders if they really wanted him on that pick, right? Think about it. How often do we see a lot of quarterbacks go? We see quarterbacks go off the board even in round 7. We've seen it with Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. Shout out to you in San Francisco. But like, um, I just you rarely ever see a coach and a GM in an organization draft two quarterbacks in one draft. You could see a scenario where they sign after the draft and the undrafted free agency that's going on now. That makes sense. Andrew Berry said it wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to draft two QBs. Gridiron from Bleacher Report put this out, said plans change. They have Andrew Berry's picture and his quote. Fans immediately ran with the quote and started buzzing about team owner Jimmy Haslam potentially making the call to draft Sanders. One fan wrote, their owner pulled the "it's my team" card on him. A second comment read, are you trying to say the Browns actually had a plan? Another fan commented, it says, also known as I was forced to draft him from someone over my head. They just start ripping on the Browns overall. Such a unserious organization, complete dump fire. I'm not going to say anything like that about the Browns, but I think it's safe to say that the Browns made a move that I don't want to say it upset people, but it annoyed people. You could see by some of those tweets and stuff that there's a lot of criticism, not because, "Oh, I can't believe they just did that. I can't believe that," like it was kind of like it annoyed people, you know? Like they're a dumpster fire. They actually took this guy. Like I'm rolling my eyes at this. Not like Browns fans getting really upset. Now, I'm sure there's probably a split like with Browns fans. I haven't really heard from them, but I would assume that there's a split. Maybe not 50-50, but maybe 60-40, something like that. I don't know. Where some of them are glad that they finally picked up their quarterback in Sheduer, even though they drafted Dylan Gabriel. But then you got fans that are like, why do we have to deal with this mess? Because I will admit, it is a little bit of a circus, right, with Dion and his kids. And I'm not trying to put anybody down. I want to make a disclaimer right now. I'm not trying to rip on Dion. I love Dion. Never actually met him. I know he's a Christian. I admire people like that. I admire values like that. He's got good character. He's got good heart. He had a little bit of an ego growing up and playing in the NFL. He still kind of has that now. And you could see it on his kids too. Article does go on to say too that despite fan opinion, landing Sanders in the 5th round was excellent value pick. Now, of course it was. Why? Because going into it, he was supposed to be a day one guy. It wasn't like this guy slid because, well, he's just not good enough and he's going to be a bust and everything like that. It's not like that with Shador. It's just not. I think that it's one of those things for Shador Sanders where you're sitting there waiting on draft night, and by the end of the first round, you're still on the board. You're like, huh, 32 teams, they don't want me. And Dion even came out. There's video out there that I've seen that showed him, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit because I don't remember word for word, but he's just, he's calm. He's in the pocket, right? Like he's calm. And he's just saying, God's gonna get us there, bud. Basically what he told Shador, like just sit back and trust God. And I admire that. I know that they're big believers and everything. But anyway, I just getting back to the Browns too, it's like they draft Dylan Gabriel. We knew they needed a quarterback. They didn't go quarterback day one. Um, but they pick up Gabriel and then they get Shador Sanders. And then they get Shador Sanders. Now, we could see some things with Shador where it ends up being like, how do I put it? He's not a bust, number one, but also there's a lot of people that said after day one, it was kind of like one of those it built type of things where after day one, it's like, I can't believe he's still on the board. After day two, still on the board, and people are like, well, what's going on? Why is he sliding? And I think even I don't remember who it was. It was probably Dan Orlovsky or Stephen A. Smith. Someone from ESPN said, I hope that Shador can call up some GMs and organizations and apologize for whatever it might be as to why he's sliding. Because it's obviously a character thing. It's obviously something with it's not a talent issue. So it's got to be attitude, right? It's just got to be. It's one or the other when it comes to stuff like this. He's not talented. He's good. But he's got this attitude of like, he's all that. And he's a great quarterback. Yeah. But he's got a bit of a big head and an ego. But there were some experts that came out on the draft. I think it was on NFL Network with Rich Eisen was saying, what do you do if you're Shador Sanders? And then some of his buddies, some of the other experts were like, I think I should call the GMs and the organizations, if I got their number, like, hey, I'm sorry, like basically apologize and convince them to draft you is what you should do if you're a Sheduer. So like it's one of those where they were even like that's what's crazy. Is like the experts that covered the draft this weekend knew what was going on and why he was sliding. And one of them was even bold enough to come out and say it, but also say what Shedeur should do to fix the problem, which was interesting to me. Anyway, I'll get off of here. I gotta hear some feedback in the comments as to why you guys think he slid. Overall, do you think the Browns made the right choice letting the slide stop? Was it a mistake on all these other teams that they passed up on Shedeur? All that stuff, let me know in the comments, please. Happy Sunday. Hope y'all had a great Easter last weekend. And we got a big week ahead. We'll get some stuff going here at BSM and keep talking up the draft. Keep an eye on the undrafted free agency, all that good stuff. Shedeur, I will say this if he is listening, and he's probably not because I'm not that big, but nothing but love and respect for the kid and Dion and Shiloh and Travis Hunter and all the Colorado guys. Nothing but love and respect. And I do wish them the best. I wish them all the best. And overall, I wish them great success. And Lank, let a naysayer know. Let them know why they should have drafted you. When you go play these defenses, you put on a show. You also show good character, and you show them why they made a mistake. That's all I got to say. I'm out of here. I'm going to catch some slack for this. I know it. Love y'all.